I am sorry, but I am a sucker for trees. The shade they provide on sunny days, the sweet breeze during leisurely walks, the aesthetic value they create for our landscape, their role in breaking winds, you name them. I simply love trees. Like some of you, I get furious when trees are cut down, even if for legitimate reasons. And so you can imagine my joy when I read this story 2 years ago that the AMA was set to plant 100,000 trees across the city all within a year. I was beside myself with joy. Among other things, the AMA aimed to improve the air quality and mitigate the effects of climate change in the city. Recently, however, the heat in town, with the accompanying putrid smell that frequently hits me, have left me bothered and particularly moved when I consider how hawkers in traffic deal with the heat. One of them, at the Kaukudi traffic light, spoke to me on anonymity for fear of being ejected.
And then they understand that here, like, and then we understand a bono. I know you're doing chain normal. No, and then the are serious. And I'm not saying Yankasa. Much is serious.
In his 2020 State of the Nation address, President Akufo-Addo announced an aggressive afforestation program in the course of the year. Hearing 5 million trees are to be planted in a day sounded quite ambitious, if not frightening.
I have, in accordance with the vision of the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, initiated a project dubbed the Green Ghana Project. This project will see to the initial planting of 5 million trees in a day across our country. This historic tree planting exercise, the first of its kind in our country, is scheduled to take place on Friday, 11th June this year. On this seminar day, His Excellency the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will plant a commemorative tree with the Vice President, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, and His Lordship, the Chief Justice, doing the same. Other prominent citizens of our country, such as His Majesty Otumfuo, the Asantehene, His Majesty the Yana, and also significantly, ordinary Ghanaians will be called upon to plant trees. Wherever you will find yourself on June 11th, plant a tree. Take a photo of it, post it, and nurture it to maturity.
Let's go back to the AMA. It's projected 100,000 trees in the course of the year. But 2 years on, only 2,500 trees have been planted, representing 2.5%. The man in charge of this project, advisor to the mayor on resilience and sustainability, is certainly not proud of this.
Generally, I would say we've given out about 2,500 seedlings. Some were also donated to the city after the news item that we wanted to plant 100,000 trees. We have further engaged the Forestry Commission because 100,000 seedlings is quite a lot. Forestry Commission and the European Union to support in this endeavor. I must add that by and large, if we want to plant 100,000 and we've been able to give out about 2,500, it does not mean we are happy with it. But plans were far advanced. We realized also just 100,000 within the city space would be too difficult to achieve.
What could have accounted for the abysmal turn of events? One may ask, where are the trees? What strategy was adapted to make this project successful? So there is a plan to realistically engage in urban foresting.
As a starting point, people can plant one tree in the house. In fact, when we were growing up, almost all our houses had at least one mango, orange, or something. We can all do something in the house. If it's in our space, it's easier that we take care of them and we will reap the benefits. These days, there are even mango trees that begin to produce fruits in 1.5 to 2 years. We can also donate a tree. If you have a birthday, you plant a tree. I mean, we have an initiative within a group of friends to plant trees on our birthdays. You can do that. Even on memorable occasions, you can plant a tree. And we think this is part of the little things that can help. Also, corporates have been very helpful to us. If you come to Accra now, you see a few circles and a few quadrangles and triangles that have been greened, and it's being supported by some corporate organizations.
Now to the question. If AMA couldn't plant 100 trees in 2 years in Accra alone, can the central government plant 5 million trees in a day? The head of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, Henry Kokofu, believes it can.
It's all about understanding and appreciating what we say and how we do it. Right. You understand? Because people think all over that tree planting is something that you can undertake anyhow, anytime. But it's not true. We have forestry. Under forestry, we have urban forestry. And within the metropolis and the district assemblies, we have parks and gardens department and all those things. And institutions that are mandated to do so, we have the technical men and women who are trained to do that. If you put them to the task, that is their job. They are being paid for. So they have no option than to accomplish. Otherwise, they have no business being in employment. Simplicity.
I have been speaking to a building engineer, quantity surveyor, and a realtor for their views.
I think it's a very laudable gesture by the government to plant 5 million trees. I'm in full support of it. But then I don't really believe government can plant 5 million trees simply because in a day, like it was initiated by the AMA some time ago to plant 100,000 trees in 2 years, and they were not able to do it. So I don't see how government will be able to do this within a day, 5 million in a day. You may say that AMA is smaller, but then remember, if AMA is doing something, it's government that is backing AMA. And if government wasn't able to back AMA to do that 2 years, I don't see how government will be committed enough to do this within a day.
You want to plant 5 million trees a day. It's a good idea, but it's not possible government can do that.
Government is bigger than AMA.
Yes, government is bigger than AMA. But the perspective, what I'm saying, that we don't have all the resources that we can do. Even the plant, the seedling that we need to plant, I don't think government have the resources that government can do that.
That's a lot, but so I think if you have 500,000 people planting 10 trees across the country, that's an easy 5 million. So it's very, very possible. The problem is, where are we going to plant the trees? Are we planting them in the cities? Where?
The activities of realtors in particular have been cited for the wanton destruction of vegetative cover. CEO of Nobel Realty Limited, Bright Osei, argues that until a policy is passed regulating how much of the environment a realtor can destroy, things can only be business as usual.
See, if there's a policy against people cutting trees or clearing the land in order to build, then yes. But if I go and buy my land in, say, Dodowa, it's not in the forest reserve, and there are trees or shrubs or whatever, and I want to create roads or build my houses, nothing stops me. So it's up to the developers to be smart or to be educated enough to say, okay, we are reserving portions for parks and gardens or whatever. But to say that I shouldn't plant, why did I buy the land in the first place? So I'll clear. But I think that going forward, we should have policies in place. Every stretch of, especially for developers, every stretch of land or whatever we acquire, there should be some fixed percentage of greenery or trees, So, but there's no clear-cut policy. So,
beyond the ambitious declarations, it is clear government must do more to protect what exists while hoping to add up.